This conference will now be recorded.
Alrighty, I think I'm just going to do a sound test. I hope that you guys can hear me. Carol, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so just wanted to say thank you all for joining us tonight. I am Brianna Davey, Vice President of Member Services, Safety, and Female Hockey. Also on the call, we have Sarah Raphael and Sean Sadler, who are part of our administration team. A few housekeeping items for tonight. We ask that you all submitted questions before the call. This helped us build out the structure for this call. If there are any questions, we ask that you send them into our office after the meeting, as we want to keep this meeting structured and on time. I think it'll take about the next 45 minutes to possibly an hour to go through our documentation for you. We also ask that you all keep your microphones muted for the time, just to refrain from the background noise that can take away from a call. As well, this meeting will be recorded. It is being recorded right now, and it will be distributed or posted on our website. So you guys will have the information. And as well, we can look at submitting some slides out to the group on some documentation, but this will be sent out for the group to have for their records. So first off, I just wanted to say thank you for the patience for the last few months as we work through changes in our office and our processes. It's been a busy month, a couple months here from August, from Sarah and I returning into the office and Sean joining us here in the last month. We're always trying to find new ways to be effective and efficient with all our registration processes. And we will be looking at doing another seminar similar to this one prior to next season. That's our plan moving forward, is to introduce new registrars to this information at the beginning of the season. We understand that many of you are already in the HCR for this season, but we wanted to take an opportunity to go through a few items that we frequently run into with questions from our membership. So we want to just do a quick run through of everything that we deal with the questions that were submitted and what we deal with on a daily basis. I think it'll help a lot of people on this call in what our process is, what the district process is, and etc. So moving forward, we'll get right into it. I think it's really important, this next slide. It is our lines of communication. So our agenda for the day, lines of communication, the Hockey Canada registry, carding deadlines, we're going to touch base a little bit on that, team official requirements, criminal record checks, and event sanctions. The big one we're focusing on is the Hockey Canada registry, as I think this is an important part that most of you touch on a daily basis. So first off, lines of communication. We bring this up as this is a very important aspect about how our organization is run. If a local minor hockey association has a question, the first person they should be reaching out to is their district association. We need this to happen as districts are able to answer majority of the questions. Also, districts may have additional regulation, rules, or policies on top of what we, BC Hockey, have in place. So most likely, if you reach out to our office, we will direct you back to your district association. So it's really important to build that really good relationship with your district association. They're there to help you and support you as a local minor hockey association. So many are in place to give that assistance. If the districts are unable to help you with your question, either the district will guide you to reach out to our office for asking that question, or the district association can reach out on your behalf. So we're here to help. We will try and guide as best as we can through the questions that we get. If we, BC Hockey, are unable to assist you, then we go to Hockey Canada. So in the past, we've had minor hockey associations reach right out to Hockey Canada. Typically, that email will land back in our office. They will guide you back to the branch to answer that question. Therefore, we will guide you back to the district. So the lines of communication here are really important, because if you think we can get ahead and a question faster answered by Hockey Canada, it most likely won't be a faster avenue to your solution. You'll actually be sent back steps where if you go through this proper channel, we can get that question answered probably a lot quicker than you think. So that's important. We keep trying to pass this along to our minor hockey associations. Our district associations are well equipped within the Hockey Canada registry and all of our policies and regulations, as well as having their own. And we're always here to help to answer any questions that you may have if your district is not able to assist, or it's an odd question. We've had a lot of those this season. And like I said, thank you for being patient with us working through some of those questions, because we don't necessarily have the answer and we have to go to a third party to get that answer. So I think this is pretty straightforward. This is something that we really need to make happen here moving forward through COVID, through a normal season. It'll just make everybody more efficient in our operation. So the next step, and this is our big aspect of this meeting, is the Hockey Canada registry. So this is basically our main portal for all registration, teams, and player transfers. So when logging into the HCR, you will either have a read or a write account. Read accounts are able to look into the HCR to see what's going on, but are unable to make any changes. All registrars should be given access to their MHA's write account in order to navigate through the HCR to use it in full use. There may be multiple accounts per MHA, but only one will be designated to have access to add CRCs. So please ensure that this username isn't shared with anyone. I'm going to have Sarah Raphael go through a number of different items through the HCR. She's going to pull up her HCR onto the screen and walk through everything from team creation to transfers to adding players, help desk. So she'll go through a lot of information and she'll show you where you guys can find all of this information after this meeting. So Sarah?
Hi. So the first thing I'm going to show you is probably the most useful tool that we find. We look here before we go to Hockey Canada with any questions. It's somewhere we direct people quite often. It's this little question mark right here on the right-hand corner of your screen. And if you just click it, it will take you to the support portal. So the support portal is where you can create a ticket from this screen right here, or you can go in and look for the solutions to anything on the HCR. It's essentially a step-by-step guide on how to use the HCR for any new registrants, any new registrars, anyone who thinks they remember something. If you've been doing it a long time, you get a little confused. I forget things all the time and I have to go here myself. So you can actually, you can actually just start typing how to create a pre-registration and it will bring you up as a step-by-step how to pre-register a participant. It gives you, Clark Kent, it gives you the step-by-step how to add anything that you would need to know for your pre-registration would be helpful here. If you don't find it helpful, you can give them feedback. If you want more information, you can go back to the help desk by creating a ticket in this area. So I don't know if all of you have access. Some of you might need to create access, but you can go in through here, and once you log in, just kidding. Once you log in, you'll be able to see tickets. So I'm not going to click on mine because I have quite a few open right now that do have people's personal information, so I can't actually share it, but it will show you here if you have tickets that are open with the help desk. If you want to create a new ticket from here where you haven't found anything in the solutions, you can also do that through here. Or just jumping back to the HCR, you can also create that right here under the assistance button. This will bring up, sorry, my screen's hard to navigate with this. it will bring up the assistance button, and you can also create a ticket straight from here with the help desk. You can attach a file. We find it pretty easy to attach the HCR ID and the person's name in here, and they're able to find anything that you guys need help with. This isn't something that you would get your registrants or participants to contact. You wouldn't give them the help desk contact information. The help desk only wants our MHAs, district associations, or BC Hockey staff to create tickets. Going back to the support, does this, sorry. Going back here, it makes you log in quite a few times. There's the help desk's direct phone number right here, so you can always call them if you aren't finding that this is helpful for you to look for your solution or to create a ticket. Once you're logged in, you'll also see information on how to find the QE information if you go down into this area. So if you have problems with quick enrollment for your registration, you can always go here, find their information or their phone number and send them a quick email or give them a call. These are things that BC Hockey is not able to assist with. When you are doing registration for your MHA, we get a lot of questions. Why can't I reset my password? And this isn't something that we're able to do on our end. It's through you guys and your registration. So this is where you would create mainly all of your questions or concerns and send them to the help desk directly.
Just double checking to make sure that everyone can see this screen. I think we're okay.
Okay. So the next thing we're going to go to is we're going to show you how to update some contacts information. This is something that a lot of registrars aren't aware of that they have access to do. You can edit profiles, you're able to edit teams in the HCR now. One thing that we are looking for is to have the addresses updated, specifically to delete any old addresses or to change up-to-date information to show the primary contact info. We've noticed that a lot of old information is set to primary, and when we're running into issues when we're trying to send out emails for the way that clinics are set up this season with the Zoom links. So I'll give you an example of okay, so we've got Clark Kent. He's got two contact emails here. One is his new email address and one is the one that's going to be defaulted. It's the one that seems to be the first one entered into the HCR. The phone number is also from the very start. So if you go into the email address and select open, it's quite simple to just set this is the primary contact. So you just want to hit primary and hit save. If you are creating a contact information for the first time, you'll need to create it and then go back in order to set it as primary. This isn't something that we're able to fix. It's something that we've asked the help desk quite a lot to fix, but they have not done that yet. So unfortunately, you'll have to do a double step here. So one thing that we are noticing as well is if a transfer is done in the HCR from one association to another association and the address has changed, if you have their new address, please update it and add it and then set it as the primary address in the HCR, because we are running into a lot of issues with any communication in specific regions. When we're pulling reports, we're finding that people show up in reports that aren't necessarily showing in that region with their address. So then we're wondering if they're not in the correct draw zone. We're going back and forth with the district just to make sure that everything's correct. So when you get into the HCR with your new registrants, please update any address that you have from them. And what else would we? Okay, so I've also created some transfers. This is something that we've also noticed this season, that a lot of transfers are not being set to the correct type. So I don't know if you guys know how to get in through here, so I'll just show you. You go under your participants, you can search under a participant. So say I've searched Clark Kent already and I want to look where his transfer is. So you can select transfers here. So you'll see one transfer for an association. If you are wanting to look for someone coming in from out of province, you'll go to search interbranch transfers, and that will show you any interbranch transfers that have either been approved, have been rejected, or are still waiting for any approval. You can ask on this transfer type you can put a note, and that will flag a notification on our end. So if you've noticed a transfer type has been sitting for a while and nothing's happening with it, it actually creates a notice that we get, and we can send that to the district associations, because unfortunately they don't get the notifications directly, but the other branches do get the notification. So if you're waiting for a transfer, it has to be past a certain date. So we're going to give you guys, say, 3 business days. If you've noticed after 3 business days that nothing has been done with this transfer, just make a note on it, and then we'll know that something needs to be done, and we'll either contact the other branch, or we will contact the team or someone looking for more information or trying to get the transfer through for you quicker. Another place to look for your transfers, which is where you guys would normally, I think, look for transfers, is under association transfers. So we're going to search our association transfers. This is where you would have any incoming transfers from an old office within BC Hockey. So this would be, so you would search from the old office, or just hit search if you want all of your association transfers to come up. If you want to streamline it a bit to narrow it down, you would do old office. Your new office is probably the only one that you guys have access to. Well, I'm just, sometimes you have too many offices. So I'm just gonna hit search, and we're just gonna go over a couple transfer type issues that we see normally in the HCR for people. So I am gonna go into the first one. It's gonna be mini. Also, you might have noticed this is a bit of an annoyance, and we are working on it weekly, daily, yearly, monthly with Hockey Canada. This button, if you right click it, it will open a new tab. If you just click on it, it will change your screen. So if you've done a complete search, it will erase your search essentially. So we always recommend people right tab, open, link in new tab. So then you have all of your transfers still on that screen. You have your new transfer coming up on this screen. So I've got Minnie Mouse up here, and she is transferring from Quadacha MHA to BC Hockey. So a lot of the issues that we're finding is that no one is filling out the division. No one is putting the correct, I shouldn't say no one. People are missing the division, and people are also missing the type of transfer type. So the move with parent transfer type seems to be the default transfer type. Most of the time, minor hockey associations will not have a move with parent option. If they do, it's something that your district association will probably update or let us know. The main one that we would see would be move with parent, returning to home association, bench staff, or residential waiver. Bench staff, we prefer that over shared for a year, even if you are sharing your bench staff through 2 associations for the year. We would ask that you make your transfer type bench staff, and then put a note down here and just say requesting to share profile. When we run reports, we have to change all of these transfer types manual on our end before we approve transfers. So when we run reports, we are getting the correct data that we need with the correct divisions and anything like that. So it does slow transfers down. So if you are waiting on a transfer, I would suggest trying to do it the correct way first, because you don't have the option to edit. So then Brianna, myself, or Sean would be going back and forth with the district or yourselves trying to figure out if there's no documentation, if this is their correct transfer type. So the edit button is something I have. I believe your district might also have it. So if you know that you've made an error, let your district know. So the division, we have all of these options. You'll mainly just choose the U18 or U8, U9, those options. You wouldn't necessarily choose any of these options. So we're gonna change Minnie Mouse to a U18 transfer. We have a ton of transfer types listed. As I said again, the majority of your transfer types will be move with parent. So we would make her move with parent, and then we go in and update each transfer. And then once that's done, we then are at probably this level because someone else has reviewed it at this level to let us know. So I'm just gonna do an approve override just so I have her where I need to for training purposes at later on in this. So now she's going to go to, she's in our BC Hockey Association. So again, please try to do the correct transfer types just so it helps us and we can help you guys faster. So our next transfer that we have is Mickey Mouse. They always go together, Minnie and Mickey. They're a dynamic duo. It does still show move without parent on here. Sorry, I should say that this screen won't refresh because we've opened it in a new tab. So we're gonna open Mickey in a new tab. We're gonna open Mickey. Oh, sorry, he's hiding under some of my share screen options. I apologize. Oh. How do we get Mickey? There we go. So there's Mickey Mouse. So again, he's transferring from Quedacha to BC Hockey. No one selected a division for poor Mickey, and they selected his transfer type as a residential waiver. So as a residential waiver is one of the most common options as well. There are 3 different types of residential waivers. There's residential recreation, residential carded, and residential other. Residential other is not one that is typically used. That would be as if someone were transferring from one association because they are living closer to a different association in their draw zone. So that isn't necessarily meaning that they don't have a team to play on within their MHA. Most residential waivers are done because they don't have a team in their MHA. I apologize, there is also another transfer for residential waiver and it is called waitlist. So we have recreational, carded, waitlist, or other. So Mickey, there's a note we're gonna check out, looking to transfer to adjacent association due to closer proximity to home. So that flags in our HCR brain that this is probably a residential waiver other transfer. And so in our process for that, we're looking for a whole bunch of documentation from your district, from your MHA, and then from the minor hockey operations for approval. So once we get a residential waiver other, it is a few steps, but we also can change it here. So if you know right away that this is going to be a residential waiver, an area for us, we're going to select the division again because someone missed it. Our transfer type is residential waiver. You can also do residential waiver carded or residential waitlist in this drop down. If we don't have the other 2 options, the recreation or the other, you can leave it as a residential waiver. And under category, you can search rec or you can search other. So you can choose those 2 options to add to the transfer. Again, if this is missed, that's fine. It's just something that helps to streamline processes for transfers. So we're not putting a whole bunch of notes asking if this is a recreation or carded transfer. We specifically want to know for carded for when we get into tiering within the associations for championships and tiering bumps. So if you're not aware of that, that would be something to contact your district association to ask about for tiering changes, tiering exemptions, or just what tier you are if you're unaware. So for this case and purpose, we're making Mickey's residential waiver other transfer. because we can see that he is moving for a reason other than he just doesn't have a team to play on. So we're going to update that. There would be a ton of paperwork in here. We would be sending it to the minor hockey operations chair for approval. So we're just going to pretend that we've done that, and we're going to override it. So once that's done, those transfers are no longer under the Minor Hockey Association of Quadacha. They're under BC Hockey's Association. One thing to note is we get a lot of phone calls asking about, where is my player? I can see he's approved in the transfers. So most people for that instance look under the type, where they should be looking under action. So it will always say review, review, approve, as we, BC Hockey, are the final approval. When you're looking, you want to look for action to see where it sits. So normally this would be a district association. You could always contact your district association to see where the transfer is if they're waiting for more information. If it's been a few days or extended period of time, your district will probably let you know what their length of time for you to contact them on a transfer is. I unfortunately am not aware of each district's rules on that. So again, we're looking for the outgoing MHA, the district, and then for BC Hockey to finally approve it. So I think that covers residential waivers and transfer types and edits. And so we're going to go into how to create a team. So if you're unsure of how to create a team, you can look under the solutions option here, or if you do know, really, you can just poke around in the HCR. If you're trying to figure something out, there's nothing that you guys can do that can be so messed up in the HCR that we're not able to fix it or assist you in helping to fix it. So we've had a lot this year of just different things happening, and we're all trying to learn and all trying to get together to create a streamlined HCR process. So you can go in here and you can create a new team under tasks. So it's going to open up which league you want it to be under. So I have options for all of the leagues, but my specific league is under BC Hockey. And so we have a lot of leagues under here as well. I'm going to select BC Hockey Looney Tunes. That will be my league. And so now I create my team names. I don't know. I've got nothing. So so we're just going to put Space Jam, or SP Jam, as the short name. You don't need to have a short name. You're going to want to select your category. So I'm going to probably make them a C team. And I'm going to leave them, actually I'll make them carded. So here is where you would choose if you have a full female team, a carded team. We don't tend to use the other ones. If you have a recreational team, you leave it as this little hyphen. So, so I'll make it carded. I guess it won't be a category C. We'll do category 1. And then it will ask you for a whole bunch of information on here. Just leave this blank. Our team office is the type. So I'm just gonna quickly bypass all this information. And then do this, because it's gonna be the quickest way to show you guys how to create a team. So now I have my team roster, Space Jam mashup. If anyone needs their rosters edited, if they decide that they don't like the name Space Jam mashup, they want to put celebrity, I don't know, celebrity mashup, you can go here under the menu button and you can edit the team. I don't believe you have options for all of these. You can print player cards. You can also print, you can also print coaching cards. I thought that you guys would have options to print the rosters, but possibly not. I apologize again. I don't know everyone's specific access. So I'm going to add some players to the rosters. I've transferred in Minnie and Mickey Mouse into BC Hockey region. So I am going to start adding hopefully that worked because they might not be in the right region. So we're gonna try Duck. Plucky Duck is a name of someone. We're just using recycled names. I have no idea who Plucky Duck is. So we're going to select Plucky Duck and add as a selected participant. If you know his jersey number, now would be a good time to add it. If you know their roster position, if you want them to be a forward, you can add it here. We don't typically use these, so I would leave these alone, and then you can add your selected participant. And so we're going to go to Bugs. Oh, we found Bugs Bunny. So Bugs Bunny is going to be listed as a coach due to the fact that he wouldn't be able to be added to this roster as a player. I can show you what will happen if we try to add him as a player. So we're going to select him. So I'm just going to put 2 on here for now, and we're going to hit continue. So we can see that green, they're good to go. We don't have a warning on here right now, which I was hoping we would get, or an issue. So we would get those and they would flag over here on here. Oh, we do have a warning here. It's too old for this league and cannot be added. So this would be, okay, thank goodness the HCR caught that I needed to make him a bench staff. So what am I gonna do? So you would go, oh gosh, I hit the wrong one. So we would go here and we would have to remove him. If we knew that he was added correctly, then it would show up in green like this, and you can always edit the option here. If you were like, oh, he's a forward and a something defense, and he's an affiliate, so you can put him here. So they're good to go. Oh, now he's getting a warning. Perfect. This cannot be affiliated because they're not on a lower division team. So this is exactly what we like. So he needs to be added to a lower division team in order to be an affiliate. So unfortunately, Plucky Duck is going to be a player on this team at this point. So we're going to add him to the team. We've got the add button and the add legacy. I apologize, I should have mentioned these. This is the add button is if you're wanting to add a bulk of people to the roster, we suggest you go here. If you're adding 1 person or 2 people, you go to the legacy method. This is the old way that we used to have to add each person to the roster. So we're going to add Bugs this way because we just want to. So we see Bugs Bunny. Great, he's 80 years old, so that's why he couldn't be a player on the roster. So if we try and add him again, we're going to get an error message. I probably won't because I can override things. So we're just going to switch him to coach. And normally this would show as pending for you guys. So great. And we can add him because he's got a valid criminal record check. Great. We like that because if he doesn't have a valid criminal record check, when you go to add him, you won't be able to. So for training purposes, Bugs Bunny is good to go. We've added him to the roster. And now we can return to the team. So we'll see Plucky Duck and Bugs Bunny are listed on the roster as they should be. So hopefully that's straightforward. If anyone needs assistance and they're not finding anything in the help area, and you've talked to your district association and they aren't able to help you, you are able to contact us like we said, but we really recommend trying to go through the support portal and looking for any solutions on how to create our team roster, how to edit a team, how to add a player, how to add a coach or bench staff, or how to add your affiliates. So we're also going to just quickly touch on one other thing, which is reporting. So we get a lot of questions about, can you run this report? Can you run that report? All of you should have access to run, it's called the participant list. So, but I'm just going to show you all reports, because some people may know, some people may not know that you can actually favorite reports in the HCR. You can select this little star over here, and that will actually bring you to your main page where all your favorites show. So you can run your IBT reports or your incoming IATs. This is another way to find out if there's anyone outstanding somewhere. You can also run your team officials reports in this area. There's a whole bunch of participants, pre-registration forms, which I know that MHAs use quite a bit. So there's information in here for you guys there. There's team information, so you can run, I think quite a few of these you have access to. You can run your pre-registration reports. Anything like that that you have access to run is all listed under the reports. For all intents and purposes, I'm going to select the participant list because it is the report that you can manipulate the most and extract the most information out of in one area. I probably won't actually run the report because it's most likely to crash my computer at this point. But you can select your Excel document if you have a mail out for your minor hockey association. If you need barcode labels, I've personally never used that report, so I can't actually tell you what that is. If any of you have, that's awesome way to utilize the HCR. So you would type in your minor hockey association. For any districts, you would type in the blanket search that you're looking for. And then you can filter by participant name or HCR ID if you want to do that. You can also select the date range here. So we find that really helpful when we're sending out communications with everyone's updated address and contact information and emails updated. When we run our reports, we'll put in the date ranges that we're looking for specific target groups in certain areas. You can filter the report if you want it to just go to either a male or female or both. And then you can select the participants that you want on the team. So if you want someone from a few seasons ago report, then you can select that here. As long as you have everyone listed in your HCR, you'll have access to all the data. So you can also run any of your participants that are pre-registered here. Again, this isn't a report that we run, but if you need to know a few things at once, you should be able to manipulate it to include multiple items in a report. The only officials, if you want to know where your officials are in that season, then this is a great place. If you don't want to use the officials report, this honestly is the most condensed report. It's not the prettiest report, but it gets you the information that you're looking for, and it gives you so many options to select from. So say you just want to do an email out, you just select email. You can also go over to the father's email and the mother's email just to make sure that you've got everyone. If you're updating all the information like we talked about, then everyone's going to get it to the correct emails, the correct addresses, anything like that. So this is, again, you can run this report, anyone that you had on a previous team, any current teams that you have, if you have a team and season or the position, if you want anything here, this is the report to go for. If you just want a basic report for any participants within your minor hockey association, you're going to run the active participants list. If you decide you don't want to deal with all of the other options, this is the other report that we would suggest. It gives you everyone that's listed in your minor hockey association for the season. And you can select it based on the released affiliate tryout or import, and you can select it for player, coach, and bench staff. We always suggest that you run your reports in Excel. That's up to you how you run your reports. Obviously, we're not going to tell you what to do, but it's the easiest way to manipulate things. I think that's basically everything that we wanted to cover on the HCR. I apologize if I went too fast. If you have more information on anything HCR specific and you cannot find it in the solutions button, let us know, and we are happy to try and help you so you aren't struggling in the HCR and you don't get frustrated, because it is quite the beast to navigate when you are learning and you are new, and we get that. It is quite the learning curve, and we want to help you guys.
Thanks, Sarah. Like I said, HCR is our main portal for everything that we do. We want to utilize it to the full capacity. I know Hockey Canada in the future here is looking at revamping the HCR, so more details with that will be coming your way in the next year. So you'll see a lot of updates from myself on that one. Next up, we're going to just talk briefly about team official requirements, carding deadlines. Jump my notes. So not much has changed here. So we still have our December 1 and 15 deadlines for our coaching clinics. February 10th is still the final registration date, as well as player transfers. So we're working with Hockey Canada if there are any changes coming. I don't think there will be at this time, but our deadlines will stay the same as they are. And so I will distribute a memo to membership on these key dates here in the next week or so, just so that everybody's on the same page and we're well aware of those deadlines coming up for coaching clinics. I think that's a big one that are posted right now, that everyone needs to ensure that their coaches are well aware of those deadlines. We're trying to make them as efficient and available as possible for those coaching clinics, so it's a really good time to get your coaches on those certifications. These do not include your district deadlines. This is a BC Hockey deadline. Like I said, reach out to your districts for those specific deadlines. Next up, we're going to briefly talk about team official requirements. This has been talked extensively through all of our membership engagement meetings already. So I'm not going to go into super detail because it has been talked about there. But all of our coaches require the specific coaching clinic, as well as Respect in Sport, CAT, CRC, and HU planning a safe return to hockey. So depending if it's recreational or carded, those requirements for coaching clinics will differ. And regarding if they're a head coach or assistant coach, they may or may not need their check-in clinic. So that's something to work through. With the clinics right now, they're constantly reviewing whether more clinics will need to be offered to the groups. So they are looking at offering more here in the next coming weeks. So watch for those on our website. They'll be on the eHockey website. I know there's a question in the chat box just asking right now. So we had a number of clinics just posted, but they are looking at adding some more in the coming weeks so that we make sure that we get everybody marked off and done for this season. So the safety person, the safety person is required to have their HCSP course, plus Respect in Sport, CAT, CRC, and their HU planning safe return to hockey, and manager, very similar, except for not having the HCSP course. The one thing that we've seen in our initial review of team staff that we've done on carded teams is a number of people are still missing the HU planning a safe return to hockey. This course is 20 minutes long and it's free on the hockey website. So that would be our piece for you guys to take back to your staff, is to make sure that they're taking that course right now. So a couple things, make sure you check with your districts because they have internal deadlines, whether you are under COVID restrictions or not, which most of us are. Some have more than others, but just check with your districts because they have. Those are outlined as BC Hockey important dates at this time. So do check with your PCHAs, Omaha, VIHA, etc. Okay. So on to criminal record checks. We want each MHA to have their own CRC link. So most of you do, but if you do not, please email info@bchockey.net and we will send you instructions on how to set up your own. This is really important because we seem to be getting inundated with a number of CRCs for coaches right now when they should be going to your local minor hockey associations. we're trying to help out as much as we possibly can at this time to go through your CRCs, but we want to really focus in on officials, our junior, and our BC hockey programming. So if you guys do not have this set up, please email our office and we'll send you instructions on how to do this. Your districts know how to do this, so you can reach out to them to ask about this as well, as many of you should already have this set up. So a couple things that we were asked is how to determine interim status versus complete status. Interim status is determined by an MHA. What is their determination for eligibility for interim status? So it depends on your MHA, depends on your district. But interim status is typically marked as pending or pending receipt received. This could be that they have a session number or they have a photocopy of their RCMP CRC, so they would be marked as an interim status. Complete status is updated when we receive the completed CRC. So if you are giving out interim statuses, they're still eligible to sign up for to be on their teams. So they'll be marked approved as a team staff if they have an interim status. It's just important to really update those CRCs when they have a complete CRC submitted. And lastly, we just wanted to touch base quickly on event sanctions. We're not going to go into depth on certificate of insurance or tournaments or anything at this moment. We don't get many questions around certificate of insurance. It's pretty straightforward on our website. As well, tournaments aren't sanctioned right now, so we're not going to go through that at this point. So we just wanted to focus in on event sanctions because there has been a lot of questions around what is eligible to be sanctioned. So the purpose of sanctioning a special event is to extend the Hockey Canada insurance program to cover additional medical and dental coverage. So, and it's used to cover activities that don't fall under typical regular hockey programming. So in the form, the more information you supply, the better. The reason I say this is it saves time going back and forth on emails determining what are you doing in your event sanction. So for example, dryland training is one that we get a huge amount of requests for event sanction, but it also spends a lot of our time going back and forth with our members. And when you submit for dryland training, you can't just say dryland training. We need to explain fully what you are doing. So when you submit your future event sanctions, outline exactly what you're doing in your dryland training. So it's really important with these ones for event sanctions that you really outline as much information as you possibly can in there, just so that we save the time and don't go back and forth with emails, or give us a call. Always happy to chat through your event sanctions if you have questions, if it's covered or not. So the more information, the better on these event sanctions, and always either email in or give us a call, and we're more than happy to help. So lastly, we're just going to touch base on our contact information. So Sarah, myself, and Sean all have personal emails, but we also, if you want a question answered quicker, to email with dedicated inboxes. The reason we say this is if your inbox is anything like mine, I get upwards to 150 emails a day. So if you want something dealt with quicker, I would email the specific inbox. So general information, that's your info@bchockey.net. Any carding minor questions, so anything to do with registration or the HCR, can go to cardingminor@bchockey.net. Carding transfer questions, so this is any of the transfers that Sarah mentioned, status updates on transfers, any double IHF, for those that deal with double IHF transfers, all go through carding transfers. Clinic questions has been a very busy one this year with all of our officiating and coaching clinic questions. Special event sanctions go specifically to that inbox, and same with injury claims. So we ask that you do send them directly there, because there might be a day when I'm off sick or Sarah or Sean are off sick and they don't have their out of office set. You might be waiting a day or two for a response when you could send it to one of these and somebody will be monitoring that on a daily basis. So it's really important that we get these questions answered for you. So a lot of our turnaround in the past has been quite quick, and we are hoping to continue to do that. Just be mindful that if we don't respond right away, it's probably because we've sent it off to someone else for further explanation or further clarification. So we'll try and turn that around as fast as we can in a couple days. So please be patient with us. If it's important and urgent, please call us. That is going to be a big push. If you do have a question that's urgent, please call your district like we'd outlined before. But we hope that we can outline all of our questions that you guys have into one of these inboxes, and we're always happy to chat on the phone if necessary if your districts are unable to assist you. So that's basically a quick run through of what we wanted to talk about. I understand it was quite basic for a lot of you that have been doing this position for quite some time now. We just wanted to go through everything just for clarity on our end so that you know where we're coming from when we ask for additional information or why something was added or changed in the HCR. We just want to know that you guys have all the resources possible, including us, to assist you in any of your questions that you have. So I just wanted to say thank you all again for joining us tonight. We will be sending this out in the next day or two on a recording, whether it be posted to our website or sent out to Dropbox to everyone that got the distribution. So if you do not receive it, please reach out to your districts because they will receive the information for sure. I just don't want to miss anyone in case our contact information isn't updated for everyone here on this call. So thank you all again for joining us tonight, and take care and be safe out there.
Thank you.